3 golden eagles for War Thunder. Link in the description.
Holding on just makes it worse. It's best to walk away if it's our time to say goodbye.
Hello you sexy beasts, welcome back to War Thunder. This is the Comet Mark 1 Iron Duke 4, something like that. Pretty much in this video we're going to talk mostly about the Comet 1 since both tanks are exactly the same. This is just a premium version that was given out during the World War II Chronicles event. Now, the Comet 1 is a British tier 3 premium, well, at least this one is premium, medium tank, sitting at a battle rating of 5.3. It is armed with a 77mm cannon, which can carry up to 57 rounds, and has a 5.9 second reload micron configuration. If you drive this thing stock, you are looking at a 7.7 second reload, which is still very, very good. It also has a 7.92mm coaxial machine gun, which can be used to spot enemy tanks, not so much for shooting down enemy aircraft or even damaging anti-aircraft vehicle unless they are open top. Now the gun handling of this thing is a bit weird. Look at the stat cards. The first thing that it really springs to mind is just the vertical guidance. It is absolutely amazing. This thing can depress up to 12 degrees. That's great. That is really great. And then in conjunction with the turret armor, makes this actually a very good tank for cresting hills. On top of that, you also get a very good armor on the front. As you can see, the turret has about 102mm, which, depending on the angle, depending on the, for example, if you hit the lower part here, has up to 140mm of effective thickness. The hull is not exactly heavy tanks level, but for a medium tank, this is still very good. 76, 75mm all around. And overall, just a very well-armored, tank with a good gun depression and a very good power to weight ratio. Look at this. The tank weighs 33.5 tons and has a 600 horsepower engine, which gives this thing a power to weight ratio of 17.9 horsepower per ton. That is extremely good. This thing just zips around the battlefield. Now, looking at the raw stats, you'd be forgiven for thinking that this thing was an awesome brawler. I mean, fast firing gun, high penetration values, good armor, and very good power to weight ratio. However, you would be mistaken. This thing is not exactly a brawler, because there are a couple of things that are very wrong with this tank. The first one is the turret rotation speed. Now, it says 15 degrees per second, and 15 degrees per second tends to be decent, but if you have a stock crew, you're looking at a 10.5 degree per second horizontal turret traverse. And that is extremely slow when you actually want to go up close. Multiple times that I found myself, for example, trying to flank around the Tiger and the turret just letting me down, just not turning around as fast as the tank can go around. And this is a huge problem with this thing. Put that in combination with the side armor, which I didn't even mention the side armor. Alright, so the lower plate has a 29mm plate, but it is on top of the 40mm plate over here, so it is about 45mm effective on the lower part. However, the upper part is only 40mm thick, which can be penetrated by 50 caliber ammunition. Yes, AA, even the 50 caliber ammunition on the American tanks, they will wreck you from the side. Interestingly, the turret is actually quite well armored at 63mm. Now, of course you can't angle the turret too much just because, well, it's only 63mm in comparison to the 102 over here, and it is kind of pre-angled to the front, so if you present it like this, you just get penetrated every time, but you can angle it just a little bit. The hull, however, no, just don't angle the hull whatsoever. Always have your hull towards the front of the enemy. And that, of course, is a problem when you want to get up close and personal. Because, well, if you get up close and personal, you can't always angle your hull. You can't always keep the front of your hull towards the enemy. That's not the point of getting up close and personal. And as soon as they see the side of your hull, they are just going to absolutely wreck you. Now, the tank itself has a very good top speed of 52 km per hour. However, Yeah, the ones amongst you who have already driven the Comet before, you know how absolutely horrible the reverse speed of this thing is. This tank reverses at 3 kilometers per hour. Yes, you heard it right. A 17.9 horsepower per ton power to weight ratio tank with a 3 kilometers per hour reverse rate. That is a huge problem when you try to use this thing as a brawler. And I just can't hammer this fact enough. This is not a brawler. When you try to get up close and personal, your turret rotation speed is going to let you down, your side armor is going to let you down, and if you happen to drive against a wall, yeah, you can't reverse. You're better off, literally, you're better off turning around the whole tank and driving forwards than trying to reverse out of a sticky situation. It just doesn't work. Now, since the tank itself is such a mixed bag, how are the ammo choices? The gameplay you're going to see in a bit is mostly with the stock AP shell. And I gotta say, this is one of the tanks that even the stock ammo is actually quite good. The stock AP shell has 754 meter per second muzzle velocity, 142 millimeters of penetration at 10 meters, and trickles down to 99 at 1 kilometer distance. Now, on longer ranges you're going to struggle penetrating stuff like tigers and stuff like that, but at closer ranges this is actually a really quite good shell, and it seems to be very reliable in setting off setting fuel tanks on fire. At least whenever I was using the shell, it was performing very well. The first upgrade you can get is the APC, or Armor Piercing Cap Shell. This is just a slight upgrade over the stock shell, giving you a little bit more penetration at close range. Trickles down a bit over long range, however, it loses a bit more penetration over long range. But it is also much better against angled armor. As you can see, at 30 degrees, it retains up to 65 millimeters of penetration, whereas the stock shell only retains 51. So this shell is better for angled armor, stuff like T34s. The next upgrade is the APCBC shell, which is pretty much a flat upgrade over all of the previous shells. This thing has much more penetration at 152 millimeters of, armor. It has the same muzzle velocity, but it retains its penetration much better over range. As you can see, at 1 kilometer distance, it still retains 127 millimeters of penetration. As soon as you can get it, as soon as you can research it, just use the shell. This is the all-around most useful shell until you get the APDS shell. Now, the APDS shell is nasty. The Comet is one of the earliest tanks to get APDS, and it is quite good. The shell travels at 1120 meters per second, has 205 millimeters of penetration at close range, and 170 at long range. There isn't really a single tank that you can face at your battle rating that you cannot penetrate with the APDS shell. And the shell is also extremely good for long range sniping. Since it travels so fast, you will have no problem hitting stuff that's over a kilometer away. Every time I've driven this thing, playing with the APDS against T34s, IS-1s even, this thing just wrecked everything. It was glorious, just absolutely glorious. So, those are the main stats of the tank done. Now I want to remind you that this is not a brawler tank. You have the mobility and you have the armor and the fire rate to get up close, but you don't really have the turret rotation speed or the side armor. On top of that, your reverse speed is just absolutely awful. What I actually suggest you guys to play this thing as is as a harasser. Play this thing a little bit like an M18 Hellcat, just that you can actually use your turret armor and bounce some shots. The most important thing is to actually cover your hull. If you can find some rock that you can cover your hull behind it, then you're pretty much unbeatable. I mean, the turret armor is very, very good. And given the gun depression, you can go over hills, you can peek over rocks. Yeah, this thing becomes nasty. It becomes a nasty, nasty, nasty thing. Look at this. At this angle, 140 on the front, on the upper part, 140 on the lower, 105 here, but good luck hitting that at longer ranges. Alright, and here we are. A34 Comet 1 Iron Duke on Finland. Funny thing, have you guys ever noticed that British tanks don't get winter camo as an option to be bought, actually? Normally you can buy all the camos, even though you can unlock them by yourself true to gameplay. Since I don't play these tanks too much and I just don't grind through them, I like to buy my camos, and for some reason British tanks won't allow me to buy the winter camo. So we are using the European camo. Now, there's really no difference between the Iron Duke and the regular Comet 1. I even double checked the stats. They are exactly the same tanks. The only difference really are the stickers that you get with the Iron Duke and the premium bonus, which comes in quite handy. This thing's actually a very, very good grinding machine, since the Comet itself is quite versatile and quite good. Now, as you can see, this thing is very, very, very mobile. It can just zip around the map, really. It can go up hills, it can flank around the entire map. It is a very, very, very fast and mobile tank. But I gotta remind you guys, I have to remind you, even if you skipped the garage review, listen to this. The Comet is not a brawling tank. Do not try to use this thing up close. You can, as long as you only face one enemy at a time. Okay, given. The tank is very fast, the gun is good, it has very good penetration, very good muzzle velocity, especially with the APDS shell, and it is a fast firing gun. I mean, there was like a 7-point-something second reload time on a stock tank. It is good, it is good. However, your armor is only on the front. Your side armor is absolutely horrible. Your side armor on the upper part can be penetrated by 50 caliber ammunition. And your turret rotation speed is also quite bad, 10 degrees per second on a stock crew. As you can see, look at this. This thing takes forever to turn its freaking turret, and this is with a completely upgraded crew. This thing is supposed to have 15 degrees per second turret rotation speed. Why won't you turn your freaking turret? Sorry, I got quite enraged playing this tank. It's bad memories of a match against a Tiger. And of course, the main problem is the absolutely horrible reverse speed of 3 kilometers per hour. Yeah, if you get caught with your pants down, you're not going to go anywhere fast. Let's just leave it at that. Now, as you can see, we were using the stock AP shell there, and it is quite effective. It has no problem dealing with these T-34s. Set the fuel tank of the first one on fire on the first shot, set the ammo rack of the second one off just immediately. The drop isn't too bad, at least you react better around this muzzle velocity. It could be a bit better, but if you want some better muzzle velocity and long range performance, you always have the option of the APDS shell, which is absolutely amazing. Of course you have to grind through that, but it's not really a problem grinding through this tank. Even stock, it is quite versatile. The armor is still very good, the gun depression is very good, you have an awesome reload rate, and the stock shell is quite good. Look at that. Hit the lower plate of the IS-1, went through the driver, went through the fuel tank, set the fuel tank on fire. It just works. It's just a shell that works. Now, of course, this is all due to the, well, I say recent, but this has been in the game for a while now. The buffs to AP, solid ammunition in general. APCR, AP shells, and APDS shells have had a massive performance improvement in the last patch or two. I'm not quite sure when it was exactly done. It was kind of a hidden patch, so to speak. But you can see it just sets fuel tanks on fire every single time. Now, I was trying to shoot through the house here. Here's a little trick. On maps that have a destructible environment, so houses that you can destroy. For example, Frozen Pass is the perfect example. You can destroy the houses on Frozen Pass, and you can actually shoot through them with solid shot ammunition like APCR, APDS, and AP shells. You can actually shoot through those houses, just hitting whatever's on the other side. People oftentimes call me hacker for that. I like to do that quite a lot. However, that doesn't quite work with maps that don't have destructible environment. That house was not destructible, so you can't actually shoot through it. It is counted as a solid object, as a rock pretty much on the map. Now, we are in a good position here. We pretty much halted the entire Soviet force advance on the A flag. This is actually a very good position for the Iron Duke. You can use your gun depression and your turret armor to just whittle down side shots on everything, as you saw earlier. We got about 50 kills there. But sadly, yeah. The problem is when they get behind you. Now, he was just a Soviet tank, of course. He didn't have 50 caliber ammunition, but if he had, he would have smashed me much easier than that. Getting caught on this side with the Iron Duke is mostly a death sentence. You just don't have the armor. And of course it makes sense, it is a medium tank. But the side armor is in fact just so bad that you can't even angle this tank. This is one of those tanks that I really, really, really have to hammer the point in. Do not angle it. Do not engage more than one enemy at a time. Use this thing as a harasser. Get on the flanks, get in a good position where you can cover your hull and use the gun oppression and the fast fire rate to harass the enemy advancing force. Try to overlook capture zones. For example, this map was a perfect example. When you have one capture zone, we have the dirt over there that's perfect to overlook that. And we have the T34 just appeared and oh god. Oh god. What is he doing? Now, I don't actually know if he fired a shot there. If he did, he missed. But yeah, he got wrecked, mate. You fucking what? You got fucking rocked. Well, okay, sorry. No more Scottish accents. I should stop with that. But yeah, as you can see, in one-on-one fights, the Comet is a extremely good tank. It is. It's very mobile. It has good armor. It is a fast-firing gun. However, once you face more than one enemy, your side armor is going to let you down, your turret rotation speed is going to let you down, and the reverse speed is going to let you down. You have to kind of think where you go before you actually go there with the Comet. You have to plan out your game, your objective before you go anywhere. So, this is pretty much game over. We are just about to get surprised butt sex by a sneaky AA hiding behind us. I said behind us. Come on, mate, you know what to shoot me. And there we go. Yeah. And as you can see, we are on fire. We have to extinguish the fire. The guy's behind us. Thankfully, the engine is kind of holding the shots here. He will have to waste a bit of shots into us, but since we have such a slow turret rotation speed, we will never get our gun on target. So, to recap, the A34 Comet 1 standard version and the Iron Duke 4 premium version. It is a very good medium tank. It is very fast, very mobile, whilst he goes forward. Speaking is hard today. Whilst we go forward, this tank is very good. The armor is decent. The hull armor is... It's workable. You can't angle it, of course, which makes it worse. But you can bounce some shots, and especially the turret is amazing. The turret is absolutely amazing. The gun depression is amazing. The fire rate is amazing. The ammunition is amazing. However, the horizontal turret reverse is awful. The reverse speed is fucking awful. And your side armor is like butter. Therefore, do not play this tank like a brawling tank. Try to not face more than one enemy at a time. Rather go for the flanks, use the mobility to go for the flanks, and use it like a hybrid between a harasser and a tank destroyer. That's where this tank really shines. And hey, if you are lucky enough to actually have the Iron Duke, it is a very, very good grinding tank for tier 2, 3 and 4 British. So, this has been the Iron Duke. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave it a like rating and subscribe if you're new around here. On the top right corner right now should appear a info card. You can there vote for the next vehicle you want to see. And the next video shall be on the Focke 190 D13 as was voted by you guys in the last video. Now, as always, my name has been MikeGoesBoom. Thank you for watching.
Your head up to the sky. Take a deeper breath and give it time. You can walk the path among the lines with your shattered frame of mind. Or instead you could always stay. We can wait right here and play until somehow you can find a slightly